One way to go about animating long hair when you're using fiber effects would be to use dynamics. And so what I thought we could take a look at is creating some guides, applying dynamics to them, and then applying fiber effects to the guides. So I've got this basic sphere here with two different surfaces. We'll go over to the Setup tab and use Fiber Effects Strand Modeler. I'm just going to grow some fibers on the top surface. Okay, and let's do 200 for our guides. We'll create 200 guides here, and then we should give it some length. Let's do something about let's go about right there. Okay, and what we can do, we could use this as our default position, but depending on the style you end up going with, sometimes you might want to go in and turn up gravity and just have it facing straight up. Okay, and you could decide how straight up you want it to go, but I'm just going to turn it up a little bit. Okay, click OK. And now we have our guides made, and it's got all the information we're going to need to use dynamics on it so that we can fix some of the points and things like that. So I'm just going to save this out. Let's send it over to layout. Okay, and so we have our guides and we have our sphere. Now, if this was a full-blown character, what you'd want to do with the guides is go to M for motion options and parent the guides to the character, or in this case the ball, so that when you go and move the ball, the guides are going to go with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some dynamics to this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the character, or in this case the ball, and go to Properties, Dynamics, and add collision to it. So that's going to be a collision object so that the hair, these guides don't go through the object. And then I'm going to go ahead and head over to the guides, and let's add cloth effects. Click so that we can get the attributes. For the fix setting, the fix setting is going to lock certain pieces of geometry in place. I'm going to use the fixed surface. It's already set up for me. I didn't have to go and create that. It's one of the things that is created when you use the strand modeler in Modeler. So I'm going to go over to the Etc. tab. Let's add some gravity. And we'll just use a preset. We'll use cotton thick. We get some settings in there, and we can always adjust that. So collision, we want to make sure that we are calculating for collision. So I'm just going to say all for right now. And let's go ahead and calculate. Okay, so we have the guides. They fall down and they collide up against the sphere. Now we could go and do a lot more with the dynamic motion. We could move the object around and things like that, but we've got at least some dynamic motion going on here. And so let's go ahead and add some fibers to this. So I'll go ahead and close this down, Control F8, add pixel filter, fiber filter, double click, and we want to add it to the guides, which was layer 2. So I'm going to activate. Let's go ahead and draw an OpenGL. We can already see that there. I'm going to add let's do 300 fibers, and let's spread out the radius of that. Let's get some. There we go. And we could play again. We could play with all these settings, but let's just take a look. Okay, so in OpenGL we can see the playback of our guides falling down. Okay, they kind of roll over themselves and then fall down and rest. And if we do a render, we'll see that the hair is conforming to the guides. Now we would want to turn shadows on and things like that. So that's just a quick look at how you could go about using cloth dynamics to animate long hair based on guides that you create in Modeler.